Hello, everyone. Let's go into Mark 14. Mark 14, starting at verse 1. After 2 days was the feast of the Passover. Passover is the time where the Jews celebrated when the firstborn of Egypt had to die. And if they saw blood over the doorpost, then the angel knew, don't go to that house. So they kept this as a commemoration of that time when God had released them from being slaves. And now they are free. And they stayed slaves 400 years. After 2 days was the feast of the Passover and of unleavened bread, bread that had not been fermented, bread that had not been turned into alcoholic, because that is what yeast does. It takes the bread and ferments it. So he said, we don't want anything that would get you feeling differently. Just get flat bread. Don't put any yeast in it. And the chief priests and the scribes sought how they might take him by craft. In other words, they studied a way to do this. They came up with a plan. And they said, we're going to take him and we are going to put him to death. Let's go back and see who these people were. And the chief priest, with an S on that, and the chief priests and the scribes sought how they might take him by craft. We studied it. We're smart people. And put him to death. And all while they're doing the holy things, they're plotting to kill an innocent man. But they came up with this idea and said, but they said not on the feast day, not the time of celebration. But let me tell you something, when murder gets pinned in the inside of you, you won't hold to a plan, not when you really want to get rid of somebody. But they said not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar of the people. The people going to get mad if we try to do it during the holidays. I mean, we got to be careful when we do this. Now, that's what they're doing on that side of town. And being in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at meat, there came a woman having an alabaster box of ointment of spikenard, very precious. And she brake the box and poured it on his head. He's sitting there eating. This woman came in. She had a name. We'll learn her name later on. And she brake the box. Let me get this box open. Must have been one of those expensive boxes, because those boxes are not easily open. And poured it on his head. And there was some that had indignation. They got upset with that woman within themselves. They knew not to say nothing too much out loud. And said, why was this waste of the ointment made? What's she doing that? For it might have been sold for more than 300 pence. That's a year's salary. And have been given to the poor. That's a lot of money. That's some expensive oil. And they murmured against her. These are the disciples. Now the chief priest over there trying to kill him. And his own folks sitting at the table with him eating dinner, but don't like what his gift that's being brought. That's too much. And Jesus said, let her alone. Why trouble ye her? Why are you doing her like that? She has done a good work on me. She's doing what she's done a good work. Is you gonna always have the poor with you. And whensoever ye will, ye may do them good. Okay, later on, do them good. That's where your mind is. Just do them good. But me, you're not gonna always have. Can I have a little something? I mean, have I done anything worthy of a gift? Have I done anything? Has anybody done anything for me? I mean, Am I worth the oil she's pouring on me? I didn't call a line and say, how many people want to be healed from being blind? Okay, I need you to pay me. He said, I didn't do that. I just did what I will do, whether you paid me or not. And the only thing that she did was came in and she gave me what was rightfully supposed to be given. She did something for me. Even though I'm a king, it doesn't mean that you don't give me anything. Even though I command everything, it's still right for you to give. She has done her part. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached throughout the whole world, this also that she has done shall be spoken of for a memorial of her. Her name is going to be well known throughout eternity, because this gospel will be preached. And Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, went unto the chief priests to betray him unto them. Judas says, my turn to do my part. And when they heard it, they were glad and promised to give him money. Judas did his job. They got glad and they promised to give him money. And he sought how he might conveniently betray him. So Judas said, okay, let me tell y'all how to do it. See, we got a plan. See, I'm going to give y'all my plan. And whatever I tell you to do, that's what you have to do. I know where he is. I know who he is. And I know just what you have to do in order to get him where you want him. Moving on. Verse 12. And the first day of unleavened bread, no yeast in there, flat bread, no fermented bread. When they killed the Passover, his disciples said unto him, let's read this again. And the first day of unleavened bread, when they killed the Passover, this is what normally happened during this time, his disciples said unto him, where would you like us to go and prepare that thou mayest eat the Passover? He said, where we going to, do our part? Because, this is the season that we do this. So what do you want us to prepare? Got a particular place? And he sends for 2 of his disciples and said unto them, go ye into the city, and there you shall meet a man bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him. Jesus gives precise details. I can't help but think that these were angels. So we have this idea that angels always have wings and, looking like what we describe them to look. But Jesus said, you're going to see this man. I think they look like men sometimes. The word says, be careful how you treat a stranger, because you might be talking to an angel or in the presence of an angel and don't even know it. Because this thing was perfectly defined. Go you into the city. He didn't say desert. And there shall you meet a man bearing a pitcher. He's going to be holding a pitcher of water. Told him exactly what was going to be in the picture. He said, follow him. And wheresoever he shall go in, wherever he goes, say ye to the good man of the house, the master says, where is the guest chamber where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples? I need a room big enough so myself and the disciples can eat. 12 of us, 13 with me. And he will show you a large upper room furnished and prepared, already prepared. They'll make ready for us. So that's all you got to do. Follow my instructions. Do exactly what I said and get things ready for us. And his disciples went. That's what he wants us to do. What did I say? Then do that. And his disciples went forth and came into the city and found as he had said unto them, and they made ready the Passover. Everything he tells you to do, do it. This is the easy way of life. He said, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. Whatever I ask you to do is easy. He didn't tell those guys to do anything big. He didn't tell them to do anything that caused them to strain, or how are we going to get this done? And in the evening, it's time to go eat. He comes with the 12. And as they sat and did eat, Jesus said, verily I say unto you, one of you which eateth with me shall betray me. Believe what I say. And they began to be sorrowful, and to say unto him one by one, Is it I? And another said, Is it I? And he answered and said unto them, It is one of the 12 that dips with me in the dish. It's only one of y'all. The Son of Man indeed goes, as it is written of him. Everything that I'm getting ready to go through is already written. But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. Good were it for him if he had never been born. What this guy is about to do to me, it would have been better had he never been born. He does not have to do it. But since you're gonna go through it, it's gonna be tough. And as they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed and brake it. He always blessed that bread. He blesses, then he breaks it, and then he gives. He does this all the time. To them and said, Take, eat. He said, This is my body. And he took the cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it. And he took the cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it. Seemed like it was right here, based on the language of how it's written, it was the cup, meaning one, and they all drank from the same cup, based on how I'm reading it. And he said unto them, This is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many. Still prophesying what's getting ready to happen in a few minutes. Verily I say unto you, I will drink no more of the fruit of the vine until that day that I drink it new in the kingdom of God. That day. And when they had sung a hymn, they went out into the mountain of Olives, or the Mount of Olives. So they celebrated the Passover. Jesus explained exactly what was getting ready to happen. He said, One of you are getting ready to betray me. Not all of y'all, just one. And Jesus said unto them at the Mount of Olives, all of you shall be offended because of me this night, tonight, getting close. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered. I am the shepherd, you are the sheep, y'all gonna run. But after that I am risen, I'm still telling you all that, I will go before you into Galilee. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. They're going to kill me. They're going to smite me. You're going to run. You're not going to be there for me. But I'm going to get up and I'll meet you in Galilee. But Peter said unto him, although all shall be offended, yet will not I. And Jesus said unto Peter, verily I say unto you, let me tell you what's going to happen this day, tonight. Before the cock crows 2 times, you will have denied me 3 times. But he spake the more vehemently, Peter did, if I should die with thee, I will not deny thee in any wise. Likewise, also said all of the disciples. They all said it. No, we won't deny you. Jesus did not respond to that. And they came to a place which was named, get this man, Gethsemane. I said it in another video. Get this man, Gethsemane. And he said to his disciples, sit ye here while I shall pray. You sit here while I pray. And he takes with him Peter and James and John, and began to be sore amazed and to be very heavy. This is Jesus feeling the weight of what he's getting ready to go through. And said unto them, told the disciples, my soul is exceeding sorrowful unto death. Tarry ye here and keep your eyes open. Watch. And he went forward a little and fell on the ground and prayed that, if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. He said, Lord, Father, is it any other way to go? Is it any other way to get these people redeemed other than for me to go through this? And he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible unto you. Take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not what I say or will, but whatever you will. And he came and found them sleeping, came back to where they were, and said unto Peter, Simon, sleepest thou? You said that you prepared to stick with me. Are you asleep? Could not thou watch 1 hour? I said, just 1 hour? You couldn't keep your eyes open? He said, say it again. Watch you and pray, lest you enter into temptation. The only way you can keep doing the things that you're getting ready to walk yourself into is you got to pray that you don't enter into that temptation. He said, your spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. You got to pray that that flesh will come under subject to your words. And again, he went away and prayed and spake the same words. Still asking the Father, is it any other way? Not my will, but your will be done. And when he returned, he found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. Neither wist they what to answer him. What is that? And he cometh the third time, said unto them, sleep on now, and take your rest. It is enough. The hour is come. Behold, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Now they were the high priest and the scribes, but Jesus called them sinners. Rise up. They got the army out there too. Let us go. Lo, he that betrayed me, right here. And immediately while he yet spake, before the words came out of his mouth, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and the scribes and the elders. Now Jesus said these are sinners. They still recognize them to have a title, but the bottom line, he says, sinners. And he that betrayed him had given them a token, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. He's the one. Take him and lead him away safely. In other words, he's a gentleman. You don't have to put a lot of force on him. Just lead him away safely. And as soon as he was come, he goes straightway to him and said, Master, Master, and kissed him. And they laid their hands on him and took him. They weren't thinking about what Peter said, thinking about treating him lightly. And one of them that stood by drew a sword and smote a servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. One of those disciples, I'm just going to stick with what Mark said. He didn't give him a name. He was like, come on with it. Come on with it. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Are you come out as against a thief with swords and with staffs to take me? I was daily with you, high priest, scribes, ministers of what you call yourselves. I was with you in the synagogue all the time, teaching in the temple. And you didn't take me then, but the scriptures must be fulfilled. And they all, just like Jesus said, forsook him and fled. And there followed him a certain young man having a linen cloth. But this guy said, wait a minute, I'm going to follow you. Having a linen cloth cast about his naked body. And the young man laid hold on him. One of those guys grabbed him. And this guy said, And he left the linen cloth and fled from them naked. Jesus said, all y'all. One guy said, well, I'm just going to stay, I'm staying with you. The Bible said when they put their hands on him, that guy ran off and left their cloth naked. And they led Jesus away to the high priest. And with him were assembled all the chief priests and the elders and the scribes. Sinners. And Peter followed him afar off. So Peter said, even unto the palace of the high priest. The high priest had a palace. And he sat with the servants and warmed himself at the fire. It was cold out there. And the chief priests and all the council sought for witnesses against Jesus to put him to death and found none. You can't kill a man without somebody testify against him. So if they were so crafty in their pursuit to kill him, how you going to get all the way to the court, grab the guy, bring him in, you don't have anybody to testify against him? I mean, that's just how sloppy people do their work. Yes, say they would call themselves good at what they do, but show me the action of what you did. You would have had you should have had enough evidence to say this man is guilty. For many bear false witness against him, but their witnesses agreed not together. You could even get two people to come together and say the same thing. All these folk there to say he's wrong, but you couldn't get two people to say the same thing, because you have to have two people. You have to have two people to be able to condemn a man. All that craftiness and all that planning and plotting they did, and they couldn't find nobody to say the same thing. And there arose certain bear false witness against him, saying, well, we heard him say, I will destroy this temple. Talking about that big 16 football field size place that is made with hands. And he said within 3 days, I will build another made without hands. He said, we got to come up with something. He said that. But neither so did their witness agree together. Even that, they couldn't even agree on that together. And the high priest stood up in the midst and asked Jesus, saying, answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witness against thee? Are you going to, can you at least say you didn't say that? But he held his peace and answered nothing. Again, the high priest asked and said unto him, art thou the Christ, the Son of the Blessed? They knew that the Christ should come. And Jesus said, I am. And ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest tore his clothes, rent his clothes, and said, oh, neither we any further witnesses. We don't need any witnesses. He testifies against himself. You have heard the blasphemy. What think ye? And they all condemned him to be guilty of death. There was nobody to testify against Jesus. And when he said, I am the Christ, and he told the truth, They said, that's enough right there. He was telling the truth all the time. What different? And some began to spit on him and to cover his face and to buffet him and to say unto him, prophesy. And the servants did strike him with the palms of their hands. For what? I just can't help but ask. And as Peter was beneath in the palace, there comes one of the maids of the high priest. I work for the high priest. I know what's going on in the palace. And when she saw Peter warming himself, she looked upon him and said, and you were with Jesus. You were with him, Jesus of Nazareth. You were with him. But he denied, saying, I know not, neither understand I what you are saying. And he went out into the porch. He walked out. And the cock said, one time. And a maid saw him again and began to say to them that stood by, he one of them. He one of them. And he denied it again. And a little after, they that stood by said again to Peter, surely thou art one of them, for thou art a Galilean, and your speech agreeth thereto. But he began to say, he began to curse and to swear, saying, I know not this man of whom ye speak. He just started cussing. He thought that would solidify his lie. And the second time the cock crew, and Peter called to mind the word that Jesus said unto him, before the cock crow twice, you shall deny me thrice, meaning 3 times. And when he thought thereon, he wept. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the 14th chapter of Mark. I got a lot to say, but that's it for today.